News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. I am your voice of reason, Alabama's voice of reason. By the way, I have an op-ed at yellowhammernews.com you can read where Dale disagrees with me, but whatever. Another missed opportunity to suspend the gas tax. Just saying, could have done it because of the war. And no, of course not. No. Anyway, let's get to the headlines right now. We have those Alabama bullet points.
Alabama bullet points. Today's headlines from around the Yellowhammer State.
Brought to you by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Number 4 today, Trump and Tuberville both have high favorability ratings among Alabama Republicans, at least according to a new poll. So a Signal poll commissioned by Alabama Daily News and great television stations shows that President Donald Trump and U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville enjoy strong favorability among likely Republican primary voters in Alabama. Now, it was conducted between April 29th and 30th among 500 likely GOP primary voters. The survey found 79% of respondents view Trump favorably, and Tuberville is at 69%. with only 23% unfavorable. Just another reason why he decided to run for governor. Only 1% saying they had never heard of him. Imagine being the 1% never heard of the senator. Oh, actually, I can imagine it being bigger than that. Honestly, it's as sad as that is. Number 3 today, the Supreme Court sets a Monday deadline. So today, for challengers' response to the new post-special filing by Attorney General Steve Marshall. So the U.S. Supreme Court has set a Monday 5 p.m. deadline for challengers to respond to Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall's latest emergency filing. Now, in the motion submitted late Friday for Justice Clarence Thomas, Marshall seeks to stay a lower court order that currently blocks the state from using its 2023 legislative and active congressional map ahead of a May 14th deadline in the upcoming May 19th special primary. Now, the request follows a special legislative session. I'll talk more about that in a moment. So basically, he's been putting this for the court, and Clarence Thomas says to the court, to the lower court, you got to decide this by today. You can't just delay this. And Marshall has emphasized equal treatment with other states and continues to defend the legislature's map. Number 2 today, State Representative Kenneth Pascal, the first black Republican elected to the Alabama legislature since Reconstruction, pushed back against Democratic colleagues who attacked House Republicans as racist and questioned his blackness during a special redistricting session. Now, the 21-year U.S. Army veteran and retired first sergeant criticized Democrats for the selective use of identity politics, noting that he is excluded from the Black Caucus simply because he is a Republican. Now, Pascal stated that his identity is not defined by a political party or others' expectations, condemned personal attacks over policy disagreements, and invoked biblical principles against favoritism, along with the Declaration of Independence assertion that all men are created equal. He rejected the idea that Americans should be defined or limited by race, which was the ideal of the civil rights movement, and too many people forget that. And number 1 today, Governor Kay Ivey signs the redistricting special election bills into law. She said she was ready to quickly act. So Governor Kay Ivey signed 2 bills into law on Friday. That was following a special legislative session enabling Alabama to swiftly adopt its previously approved 2023 congressional district map and a 2021 state Senate map if federal courts of the U.S. Supreme Court lift existing injunctions. Now, the legislation was prompted by the Supreme Court's recent 6-3 ruling in Louisiana versus Calais, which deemed race-based redistricting unconstitutional. As you know, Alabama has been operating under a court-drawn map for the 2024 elections after its own maps were challenged under the Voting Rights Act. Now, the new laws would trigger special elections in 2026 this year using the legislative maps, potentially shifting Alabama's congressional delegation from 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat to 6 Republicans, 0 Democrats. That would affect, of course, U.S. Representative Shamari Figures. Actually, 6 Republicans, 1 Democrat. Excuse me. It seems under that map, Terry Sewell would have a pretty safe seat. By the way, the bullet points are brought to you by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Maybe you didn't get out there before Mother's Day and you didn't get your mom something nice, your wife something nice, and maybe you're in the doghouse today and you're like, I got to make up for it big time. Well, I keep telling you, Larry's Pistol and Pawn in Madison off Greenbrier Exit 3. It's next to the big Rusty Water Tower. They have the best selection of jewelry in town. How about get your wife some really nice earrings? I bought my wife diamond earrings there. Got it for a great price, and you can put it on layaway. Go today or go to the website, pistolandpawn.com. That is pistolandpawn.com. When you do, let them know Yaffee sent you.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
Sandy's app. If I give you a decade, who do you think's the MVP?
80s, Hogan, not even close. 90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Absolutely.
2000s, John Cena.
You filmed The Brain in 2004.
Yeah.
Isn't the story that role was going to be for
Steve Austin?
For Steve Austin.
Yep. What is one man's trash is another man's trophy.
Mindset, motivation, insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
You could pop up in WWE tomorrow. Would Saraya be there or would Paige be there?
Paige, 100%.
So when you're setting up Logan Paul to frog splash you through the announce table, it's going through your mind.
This should make every headline in the world.
It makes sense, right? And you jelly roll.
We knew we had that kind of a moment.
Mindset, motivation, and what it takes to succeed. Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.